In the last video, we showed connections to Meroz and these warriors, or the Nephilim, or the Kenite people, these fallen ones. We're really talking here about non-Jews who were friends of Israel, were monotheists, and followers of the 7 laws of Noah, who knew the one God of Israel and the entire history of Israel, going all the way back to the time of Cain and Abel. And here it says, "Curse Meroz," said the angel of the Lord, bitterly curse its inhabitants, because they came not to the aid of the Lord among the warriors. And again, this gibborim is like a code word for the Nephilim. It's one of the 7 names of the Nephilim, who are the Kenites, going back to Genesis 6:4. And you'll find that Nephilim and gibborim in the same verse there. So we're talking here about people who knew what was right and wrong and did not act. And we're talking about the Kenites. Most blessed of women be Yael, wife of Heber the Kenite, who is either Jethro or his son. Most blessed of women who dwell in tents. And one opinion was this was a star, Sisera's protective star, and we pointed out that Barak, who started all this, also is named after a star. He is named after the star Sirius. No one's, I don't think, ever pointed that out before, or I'm sure it's known among the sages, but I've just never read it anywhere. I happened to make that connection. And we said that Meroz is connected to the word gerim, because they both have the same value in gematria. And it's interesting to me because if you turn Meroz around backwards, it almost looks like another word for strangers, which gerim would mean strangers here. Another word for strangers. So that's interesting that if you turn it around, even, it's kind of similar to another word for strangers. But it's very interesting because gerim, even when you use the atbash cipher, as you see here, is still the same value and actually uses the same Hebrew letters. So even when you turn the Hebrew alphabet around and do the substitutes, so it would use the exact same letters and have the same value, which I've never ever seen before. So it's very interesting to me, again, this whole thing of turning things 180 degrees in the Torah, and the whole theory being that we're talking here about the Kenites. Well, when you just look one result higher, you can see, and all the elders of Israel, it says here, and all the elders, and the word for elders, of course, is sekeni, which has the word Keni or Kenite right in it. And again, this is from the Torah portion named after Jethro. You find Meroz is a match in Atbash for Yitro Cohen, as in Yitro or Jethro, Cohen of Midian, father-in-law of Moses. Very interesting. So here's some more connections. We have the Nephilim, who are the Kenites, the gibborim, the Kenites, Yael, and Heber, who is connected to Yitro, and then we have this result, Yitro Cohen. And you can go even further back. This, I'll show you one more result, which is from, I think 19. Let me find it here. Ah, yes, I remember now. Meroz is also a match for, he is the father of the Ammonites, and I will bring that up right here. I think it's in, here it is. Right here in Genesis 19:38, Meroz in just regular gematria is a match for he is the father of the children of Ammon. This is where the children of Ammon become a people through Lot and his daughter, the younger daughter, who named the child Ben-Ami. He is the father of Bnei Ammon. Why is that significant? Because when you find out who Ammon is, this is from Numbers 24:21. Bilam's prophecy to the Kenite says here, he envisioned the Kenite, Bilam did. Here the reference is to the people known as Ammon, the Kenite, mentioned in Genesis chapter 15. But the argument is not necessarily the descendants of Yitro. They would have come from the land of Cain, a place known as Cain. This is why Ammon is identified with the place known as Kenite. Interesting. So there's a differentiation between the descendants of Yitro and the regular Kenites. One being, essentially the difference is, do they believe in God and follow the 7 laws of Noah and the Torah, or they don't? And they're either friends of Israel and friends of what is right or not. And it all comes down to one thing, repentance or teshuvah. Turning things around 180 degrees and returning.